am DePietro-Standen, and I am here to bring you your challenge this week for Just One Thing for Health. And today I want to talk about the Bliss Point. You have probably never heard of the Bliss Point, but it could be running your entire life. Now, that's what was happening to me. 13 years ago, I was so overweight and unhealthy, and I did not know what was going on. And what I realized through years of research and changing my habits, looking at studies and reading, was that I was addicted to the standard American diet. And as cliche as that might sound, it's actually a little more insidious than that because of something called the Bliss Point. Now, the Bliss Point was written about in a book called Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss. He is a prize-winning journalist. And what he did was go to big food companies, and there are about 10 companies all over the world that own all of the smaller companies. So big food and pharma sort of run the world. And what they do is they conduct millions of dollars in clinical studies on something called the Bliss Point. And that is the perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat that will keep you addicted to their product. And this is used all over the fast food industry and the processed food industry. And you don't know that you're addicted. And the book is really fascinating because they do these clinical studies even with children involved for things like sweets. And they do it for even combinations of foods. So for instance, if you go to your favorite fast food drive-thru and you get the #1, know that a Bliss Point study has been done to make sure that the carbonation in the soda offsets the greasiness of the fries, offsets the sweetness of the bun and the saltiness of the patty. It all comes together to form addiction. So I know when I found this out, it was such a revelation for me because all of those years I had been convinced that it was just me and my willpower and that I couldn't succeed because I just kept going back to these foods and it was all just about me being weak. Once I realized that they were addictive, that they were physically addictive, I realized what was really happening was they were running the show. And that the way to really change my life was to rid myself of those addictions because my body was asking for fuel, but I wasn't craving a steamed plate of broccoli. I was craving what my addictions were screaming for, which was fast food and processed foods that are high in salt, sugar, and fat. And that's what was keeping me overweight and keeping me sick. So my challenge to you this week is to notice when you are hangry. And we have all learned about hanger. If you haven't been hangry, you certainly know someone who has. And that hanger feeling, it makes you feel shaky, it makes you feel emotional, it makes you feel like if you don't eat whatever your addictions are craving right now, someone might get hurt. So we have all felt that. So my challenge to you this week is just to ask yourself, just to stop, just to take maybe even 15 seconds and say, what does this feel like? Does it really feel like hunger or does it feel like addiction? Does it feel like desperation? Does it feel emotional? Does it feel like I'm out of control? And you'll realize that you don't want to feel like that anymore. And I can tell you that when I switched to a whole food plant-based diet, I never count calories. I eat as much as I want. The food is delicious. But the first thing I had to do was realize how much that Bliss Point was affecting my life. And so this week, if you could just pause every time before you have a meal, ask yourself, how hungry am I? And is this more about my addictions to certain foods? What am I actually craving? And even because your body's going to crave what's good for it when it's a healthy body. You're only going to crave these foods that are bad for you when it's addiction. So ask yourself how that feels. And then hopefully you'll come to that realization that what you really want is empowerment when it comes to your food, because so many people think that freedom, I hear this a lot as a nutritionist, is being able to eat whatever I want. But when you are a slave to your addictions, that is not freedom. You don't get to choose whatever you want. It's choosing you. Also consider the fact that in addition to the Bliss Point, dairy is so addictive. And it doesn't even have to have added hormones in it. Just like human breast milk, it already has hormones. And those hormones and other properties called casomorphins are extremely addictive. For some people, they can be almost as addictive as morphine. So if you are eating, if you have a lot of dairy in your life, it is propelling you to eat more dairy. And when it comes to dairy, it is just so, it's meant for a cow. It's meant to bring a 70-pound calf to a 1,000-pound adult in the course of a year. We are the only species who feels like it's necessary or safe or effective to eat milk, to drink milk or any of those products. And that includes cheese, it includes ice cream, it includes cream cheese, sour cream, everything on that spectrum. Not just past the point of infancy, but 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day on into adulthood and beyond. And all of those hormones they're horrible for your immune system, but they are causing that addiction to propel itself. And so my challenge to you is just to tune in, ask yourself how these things feel, and realize that that's not empowerment, and that once you rid yourself of those addictions, you can move on to live a healthy and vibrant life. I personally lost 60 pounds. I recovered from serious joint issues. I had tendonitis and bursitis in all my joints, high cholesterol, really high cholesterol, triglycerides of 600. So I was in bad shape. And the thing that changed my life was changing my diet. And it's why I do what I do, to help other people do the same. So I hope that you get a lot out of the challenge this week, and we're going to be talking to you about this in the Facebook page. And so I hope that you will tune into the Just One Thing for Health Facebook page and comment on how you're feeling this week and what your perspective is on the Bliss Point. So thank you so much for tuning in.